Hey guys! This is Cartoon Recapped. Today, we'll show you a 2017 family adventure cartoon called The Jungle Bunch. Be aware of heavy spoilers. Sit back and enjoy the show. An iceberg with an egg appears on the banks of an African jungle. Meanwhile, the champs, consisting of big Bengal tigress Natasha, hippie three-toed sloth Tony, neurotic Javan rhinoceros Goliath, and crested porcupine Ricky, are engaged in saving all the inhabitants of the jungle, mainly due to the evil deeds of an koala named Igor. During the next chase, Igor almost manages to escape from the island in a small boat, but he is hit by the iceberg, preventing the koala from leaving the shore. Igor tries to break the egg, delivered by the iceberg, but is defeated by the champs, while the egg ends up on a tree. As Natasha sends Igor to the Island of the Lost, a small desert island where evil animals are exiled, he tells her that he left in the jungle timed exploding mushrooms, which are already starting to explode at that moment. Natasha immediately hurries back to shore to save the rest of the inhabitants. During the ensuing fire in the jungle, Ricky, for the sake of saving the rest, sacrifices himself while throwing the egg to safety. Natasha believes that the activities of the champs led to the death of Ricky, and together with Goliath and Tony abolishes the team. A baby emperor penguin then hatches from the egg Ricky threw, who Natasha calls Maurice and raises as her son. Goliath, who considered himself unnecessary after the collapse of the team, leaves, while Natasha and Tony stay together to raise Maurice. When Maurice grows up, he feels the desire to follow in the footsteps of his mother, against her will, and save all inhabitants of those who are in danger from other evil animals. Maurice says goodbye to his mother, and sets out on his journey. Meanwhile, Igor has the seed of a palm tree with him, and nurtures its growth, and at the same time acquiring a lieutenant, Surimi the coconut crab. Years later, the Jungle Bunch, consisting of Maurice, his adopted tiger Barb's son Junior, dim-witted mountain gorilla Miguel, neurotic Tarshia Gilbert, fruit bat Batrika, glass frog Al, and cane-toad Bob, are busy rescuing elephants who were forced to serve a group of olive baboons under their threat to destroy their sacred totem. Igor finally waits for the tree to grow, and he, along with Surimi, leave the Island of the Lost. Soon, the Jungle Bunch notice a burning tree and they arrive there, where they meet Igor, who lures them into a trap and learns from them that Maurice is Natasha's son. Igor talks about his plans to destroy them, and then the champs, and then he leaves, leaving the Jungle Bunch to wait for them to die from the explosion of his mushrooms. The team manage to escape from the explosion due to Miguel's powerful allergy to ficus flowers, after which they head to Natasha. Igor takes the baboons under his army, who because of the Jungle Bunch, cannot engage in banditry. Igor develops the idea of undermining the cave, so that the jungle will collapse and be flooded. When the Jungle Bunch arrive at Natasha's home, she is pleased to meet Maurice and Junior, but soon learns from Maurice about the return of Igor and tells his son the story about the koala. Igor had wanted to join the champs as their leader, but the others thought that he was not. Natasha decides to find Goliath with Tony and revive the champs, while not wanting to involve Maurice and his Jungle Bunch in their affairs. The next day, the champs decide to interfere with Igor's plans, while cutting off the road to the Jungle Bunch, destroying the bridge. When the champs find Igor, he, in turn, leads them into his trap, but the team almost manages to defeat Igor. Maurice decides to help the champs by catapulting himself and his son, but his intervention leads to Igor escaping, and he takes Junior with him as a hostage. Natasha shows Maurice that, through his fault, Igor escaped and kidnapped Junior, and asks the Jungle Bunch not to intervene. Maurice himself gets disappointed and removes himself from his own team. As a storm began to rage, Maurice's stripes are washed off. The champs reach Igor's lair, but are ambushed and captured by Igor. Maurice soon finds himself near the pond and sees the memories where he left his home and found an egg, from which a young Junior hatched, and he sheltered him, making him his son. At that time, Junior escapes from captivity and arrives at the pond where Maurice is still. Maurice is glad of the return of his son and finds out that the champs are in captivity and many animals are enslaved, forced to grow mushroom bombs for Igor. Maurice restores yellow stripes on his body and makes Junior a new fishbowl. Maurice and Junior return to the Jungle Bunch, who wanted to save the champs without Maurice's help, and with them, they penetrate inside the lair of Igor under the disguise of two baboons. The heroes release the champs and together they fight the baboons. During then, Batrika finally confesses her love for Gilbert, to whom the latter accepts and decides to keep it between them, unaware they've confessed it to everyone, after Batrika pulled Igor's microphone flap to save Gilbert. Shortly after the defeat of the baboons, Igor activates the bombs and disappears. Maurice instructs the champs to evacuate the inhabitants of the jungle, and he and the Jungle Bunch go to prevent the mushrooms from exploding. After riding a minecart down to the main mushroom bomb, Gilbert suggests that they should knock down some bombs, in order to stop the giant mushroom bomb. Maurice succeeds, but he nearly relights the bombs when his belt lights on fire. Fortunately, Junior hops out of his aquarium and extinguishes the fire. Having managed to save the jungle, the champs and the Jungle Bunch again face Igor, who declares that he will never stop, but Maurice catapults Junior, who in turn drives away Surimi from the jetpack, who takes off in a parachute, then overloads the ammunition, causing Igor's jetpack to malfunction. Soon, the champs decide to retire, while the Jungle Bunch continue their heroism. In the post-credits scenes, Igor is still alive as he and Surimi are back on the Island of the Lost. Thanks for watching. Hope you all enjoyed, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.